Hello and thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to go over how to outline your approach section for your NIH proposal, and I'm also going to be showing you some ways to use Bulletin to create your outline in Microsoft Word. So the first thing is you want to make sure you're creating your outline as well as writing all of your sections and outlining your sections in the correct format. And at the Scientific Grant Writing Workshop that we offer, we go over the correct formatting for NIH proposals. But one of the things you need is the template provided by NIH where your sections are supposed to be written into. And that template is called PHS 398 Continuation Page. And you can see the title right up here along the top. Okay, so one of the things it has is it has the correct margins. It also has the approved fonts, styles, and sizes, but it also has at the top Program Director, Principal Investigator, and that's where you put in your information. So that's in the header part. We're not going to go over that though. But the part that we're actually working on, like I said, outlining their approach. So I'm going to go ahead and type in approach right here. Okay. So I'm going to return, and the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and start outlining. And these are the basic ways to use an outline in Word, but also basic way you want to set up the different paragraphs in your approach section. So the first thing I'm going to do is under the Home tab, and I'm using Word 2013. I have in this paragraph section, I have different bullets I can choose. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the multi-level list. This is the type I was taught to use in my basic English class. So down arrow, and when I do that, I have various different options I can choose. And the one I like is the traditional one so that I can really tell when I have first paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph, and points underneath each one of those. So I see the format I like, I can click on it. And there we go. So I know that I'm going to have at least 8 or 9 paragraphs. So I'm going to, and there we go. And I know I'm going to have at least 8 or 9 paragraphs. But let me go ahead and start typing in first paragraph. There's specific information I want to put there, but I'll do that in a little bit. Let me go ahead and complete my outline. So second paragraph, third paragraph. If I have any misspellings, we're going to call this a spell-free zone right now. This is just for demonstration purposes. Fourth paragraph. Wouldn't be typing these words actually into your proposal. This is just to give you an idea of what type of information should be in each one of these paragraphs. All right, so we have our paragraph set up, but let's now go over what type of information we're going to put in each one of these paragraphs. So we have our first paragraph, and I'm going to have a sub-bullet underneath here. So what I can do is I can hit the Tab key on my keyboard and let me undo that. Or what I can do is under the Home tab, I have these options in paragraph, which when I hover over them, it says decrease indent or increase indent. So I can click on those and that will do the same thing for me. So my first paragraph, and in this paragraph, let's read through this. Briefly remind the reviewers of your proposal's innovation or novelty. In other words, our approach is based on the novel discovery that prolonged MV, which is mechanical ventilation of preterm lungs, leads to epigenic changes in the lung. In this paragraph, you want to have 4 sentences, and each sentence about 20 words or less, and Arial 12-point font. One of the reasons for the 12-point font, even though this one was set up for 11, is it just makes it easier for the reviewer to read. And let's go on to the second paragraph. What are the types of information you would have in your second paragraph? So return, and once again I can hit the Tab key or I can use this indent. And let's put the type of information that you would put in your second paragraph. So in the second paragraph, that's where you're going to put your copy and paste of the spec aims from your spec aims page. So this is the specific aims that you've listed out in that very first page that you created. And that's where you're going to put them in. So that's pretty straightforward. Let's go on to our third paragraph and see what type of information you're going to put in there. And now we have our third paragraph, and I'm going to go ahead and paste that information in there. So your third paragraph in your approach for your NIH proposal, typically in this paragraph you want to provide a table or a flow chart, and it's of the specific aims to give your reviewers a big picture view of the study design. And so that's your third paragraph. So after you've 3 to 4 sentence opening paragraph, and then after you've listed your specific aims and given them a big picture, now you're going to work on your fourth paragraph. So this one isn't going to apply to everyone, and you'll see here. So for the fourth paragraph is type of information is only for those who are writing a proposal about a study that involves human subjects. So if your study does involve human subjects, you want to write one paragraph overview about recruitment, selection, inclusion, and exclusion. And the thing is you can place the details about that in your section E, human subjects section, because that section has no page limit, whereas the rest of your proposal does have page limits. So you don't want to get into all that super finite detail in your approach section. All right, so fifth paragraph. So like I said, I'm going to teach you some functions as well. Some information I included in here. Turned and tabbed in, but they are not sub. Let me go ahead and get rid of these. So all I do is backspace. That's how you can fix it in Word. Let's go over this information here. So in your fifth paragraph, that's where you're going to cover your specific aim 1. Place preliminary data here to demonstrate feasibility, also statistics, expected results, and you'll want to cover pitfalls, limitations, and alternative approaches. And then you repeat the same outline for each subsequent specific aim that you have. And the reason you do that is for parallel construction. So you might have a couple paragraph are set up because of how many specific aims you have. So let's go into paragraph 6 now. And here's the information we have for 6, and let me get rid of these sub bullets because this is all part of that one. So paragraph 6, and this is your detailed methods. So if there are methods that you've published or your PI has published, state it so the fact that you've published these stations and then move on, meaning you don't have to go into detail because it's already published and out there. So if the methods are new for you and your group, describe in detail or recruit collaborators in which you get letters of support and cite their papers. So that's the 6th paragraph. It might take several paragraphs. This is just a basic idea or a basic outline. Say this took several paragraphs for what is currently called number 6. And then your next one, 7th paragraph, is also called your next to final paragraph. So no matter if it's 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th, depending on how much information you have to put after addressing all of your specific aims, the paragraph you have next to your final, that's where you're going to have timeline. And this could either be in a graphic example of your timeline or in words. Think about which is the most easily understood, but also takes up the least amount of space. Our 8th paragraph, or essentially our final paragraph, so I'm going to call it that. And I can tab in. So for our 5th paragraph, this is where you want to end on a positive note about the feasibility or the impact of your study. And you may copy the final paragraph from your specific aims page and paste it here. And to be succinctly stated the significance, innovation, and impact of the proposal. So that's the basic components you need to have in your approach section for your NIH grant. And I showed you some basic outlining functions in Word that you can use to set up your outline. And if you haven't written your proposal yet, this will be really easy if you set yours up like this, and then you can just fill in the information and have it in the correct order. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope you'll come back and watch our other videos that will help you with your writing process.